It all started, strangely enough, with a fellow by the name of Henry Heinz II. That's the, if you know politics, his son was senator.
Those are the pinball Heinz.
Yeah.
And Jack Heinz became a very good friend of mine. And for instance, he'd fly me to Washington on his DC-3. And I wrote to his I guess it was the daughter-in-law later after the senator died. And I said, I wanted you to know a special story. Now, I'm a chicken farmer from Massachusetts, right? And, you know, this is a different world from me. I was a professor at Duquesne, but a different world being with Heinz. So anyway, we got to Washington, D.C., and he was staying at the Mayfair. They had an apartment at the Mayfair, and he turned to me and he said, we're getting in a cab. He said, do you have any money, Robert, to pay for the cab? and I felt that was one of the top moments in my life, to pay a cab for a chicken farmer from Massachusetts for H.J. Heinz.
Really?
And then he built, I went to see him, I guess at the 4th year. And I said, Jack, what do you think?
Like 50 years ago.
You keep getting that in there. I said, what would you think if we built a float on the Thames River? Because Heinz is very big in Europe, and especially in London. And he was very close to Prince Philip because both of them loved architecture and architects. And when I told him that Lucan was going to be the architect for the float in London, he bought right into it. And so we built the float in Dartford. And I don't know if you know the name Lucan, but he's the one that did the capital city in Bangladesh. There's a film called My Architect, which you should see. He was considered as one of the great architects of the 20th century. Yeah. And so when Jack heard that he was going to be my architect, he said, we're going to build it.
How great.
And, but you know, strange stories that one lives with all their lives, different kinds of stories. I was in Dartford, and we were to open the next night, this new boat going out, and the workers, the British workers said, we're never going to finish this, paint it in time, we're going home. And I said, I'm coming down there. And I said, give me a paintbrush. and so they stayed, and we finished it. But the worst part of that story was Jack Heinz had sent, I just thought he was going to have a little dinner party, sent a limousine down, his limousine down to pick me up. And I said to the driver, I'm sorry, but I have to stay with these people, otherwise you're not going to finish it. I mean, that's the way a chicken farmer thinks, you know. You've got a job to do, you finish your job. And which hurt him a great deal.
And who was at the party?
He had Paul Getty there and Douglas Fairbanks, and this was my coming out, which I never realized. It was sort of a surprise kind of thing. But he was very hurt by my not going there. And the next morning he left for Africa on a hunting trip instead of staying for my concert because he was hurt so badly. So, you know, there's always a nice side and always a hurt side. So this is part of my world and part of my life. But he was one of the nicest people you'd ever want to meet.